Welcome to the Legacy Room. I'm Melissa. This channel is devoted to honoring unforgettable lives that continue to echo through time. Here, we remember cherished figures from film, music, television, and culture, celebrating their achievements, their influence, and the memories they left behind. Each tribute is a heartfelt reminder that true legacy never fades and always continues to inspire. The claim that Phil Garner has passed away is not supported by verified public information. As of available records, Phil Garner is known as a retired baseball figure and not a confirmed deceased individual. Garner, nicknamed Scrap Iron for his gritty and determined style of play, built a long career in Major League Baseball as both a player and later as a manager. He was born on April 30th, 1949 in Jefferson City, Tennessee, and developed into a strong infielder during his time at the University of Tennessee. His work ethic and competitive mindset helped him reach the major leagues. He made his MLB debut in 1973 with the Oakland Athletics and later played for several teams, including the Pittsburgh Pirates, where he achieved one of the biggest highlights of his career. In 1979, he played a key role in helping the Pirates win the World Series, becoming known for his clutch performances and steady presence on the field. After retiring as a player, Garner moved into managing and eventually led the Houston Astros to their first ever World Series appearance in 2005, a milestone in franchise history. Across both playing and managing, Garner became known for toughness, leadership, and consistency. His reputation in baseball is built on resilience and a strong, competitive spirit that defined his long career in the sport. Johnny Wachter was an American actor known for his steady presence on television and his growing body of work in film. Born on August 31st, 1986 in Charleston, South Carolina, he was raised in Somerville with his two brothers, Lance and Grant. He graduated from Somerville High School in 2004 and later attended the College of Charleston, where he earned degrees in business administration and Spanish in 2009, showing early discipline and a broad range of interests before fully pursuing acting. He gained wider recognition for his role as Brando Corbin on the long-running soap opera General Hospital, which brought him into the homes of many viewers and became one of his most notable performances. He also appeared in television projects such as Siberia and had supporting roles in series like Army Wives. In addition to television, he worked in film, including appearances in USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage, and Supercell, gradually building a diverse acting portfolio. Johnny Wachter's life was tragically cut short in downtown Los Angeles at the age of 37 when he was fatally shot during an incident involving attempted theft of his vehicle's catalytic converter. His death deeply affected fans and colleagues, who remembered him for his kindness, humility, and dedication to his craft. Jerry Taylor, born Jerry Cecile Sewer on June 30th, 1938 in Evansville, Indiana, was a highly influential figure in American television, particularly known for her contributions to science fiction storytelling. She studied at Indiana University Bloomington and later earned a master's degree in English from California State University, Northridge in 1966, building a strong academic foundation that supported her writing career. Before becoming associated with science fiction, she worked extensively in television drama, contributing as a writer and producer to successful series such as Quincy, M.E., Magnum, P.I., and In the Heat of the Night, where she developed a reputation for strong, character-driven storytelling and effective production leadership. Her most significant impact came through her work within the Star Trek franchise, where she played a key creative role in shaping Star Trek, The Next Generation, and later Star Trek, Voyager. As a writer, producer, and showrunner, she helped guide major narrative directions and was instrumental in the creation of Captain Catherine Janeway, one of the first female captains to lead a Star Trek series, marking an important moment in television history. Her work helped expand the emotional and ethical depth of the franchise while broadening its representation. She passed away in Davis, California, at the age of 86, with her death attributed to natural causes according to family reports. her legacy remains strongly tied to her influence on modern television storytelling and her role in shaping one of science fiction's most enduring universes. The claim that Chuck Norris has passed away at 86 is not accurate based on verified public information. Chuck Norris is widely known as a martial artist, actor, and cultural figure, best recognized for his role in Walker, Texas Ranger, as well as earlier action films that helped define his on-screen persona as a disciplined and highly skilled fighter. Over the years, he also became a broader pop culture icon, often associated with internet Chuck Norris facts that exaggerated his strength and toughness in a humorous way, further cementing his reputation beyond film and television. In real life, Norris has been involved in martial arts instruction, fitness promotion, and various charitable and advocacy efforts, particularly related to veterans and children's programs. While he has maintained a lower public profile in recent years, compared to the height of his acting career, he remains a recognizable figure in entertainment history. Because misinformation about celebrity deaths can spread quickly online, it's always important to cross-check such claims with reliable news sources or official statements before accepting them as fact. As of current verified information, Chuck Norris is still alive, and his legacy continues through his long career in martial arts, film, and television. Charles Thomas Coleman, 1962 or 1963, lived a life shaped by aviation, precision, and a deep curiosity about flight. From an early age, he was drawn to aircraft and the mechanics of how they worked, a passion that eventually guided him into a career combining engineering knowledge with practical flying experience. Over the years, he worked with respected aerospace organizations such as McDonnell Aircraft Corporation, Bead Jet Corporation, and Scaled Composites, contributing to aircraft development, testing, and performance evaluation. Alongside his engineering work, Coleman was also an accomplished pilot. As a commercial test and instructor pilot, he accumulated more than 10,800 flight hours, reflecting both his experience and long-standing dedication to aviation. His work required not only technical skill, but also careful judgment and a strong understanding of flight safety and innovation. He was also recognized within the aviation community as an associate fellow of the Society of Experimental Test Pilots, highlighting his role in advancing experimental aviation. In addition, he served in a leadership position at the Mojave Air and Spaceport, a key center for aerospace testing and development in the United States. Charles Thomas Coleman passed away, though detailed public information regarding the cause has not been widely disclosed. He is remembered as someone who contributed not only as a pilot, but also as an engineer who helped shape the way aircraft are designed, tested, and understood in modern aviation. There is a version of Pierce Brosnan the world agreed to love almost instantly. The tuxedo, the controlled elegance, the jawline that seemed designed for cinematic permanence, and the voice that could turn threat into charm in a single breath. For millions, he was less a character and more an idea, an embodiment of composure under pressure, the fantasy of danger made safe. As James Bond, he did not merely play a role. He became part of the cultural imagination of what sophistication and masculinity look like. Yet beneath that polished surface was a life shaped by rupture, loss, and quiet resilience. The question rarely asked during his rise to global fame is what it felt like to inhabit that image, to carry a persona built on control while having lived a life repeatedly defined by instability. The truth is that Brosnan's calm was not inherited, it was constructed. Each moment of poise on screen was rooted in years of emotional adaptation off screen. Before the fame, before the films, before the world associated his face with invincibility, there was a boy learning how to survive absence. And that absence did not simply disappear with time, it became the architecture of his identity. What audiences saw as effortless confidence was often the result of deeply earned composure. His story begins not with success, but with displacement so early and so complete that it shaped everything that followed. A childhood shaped by absence and quiet displacement. Pierce Brosnan was born in Drogheda, Ireland in 1953 into a world that quickly became defined by departure. His father left when he was an infant, too early to form a memory, leaving behind a silence that would never fully resolve into explanation. His mother, May Smith, eventually left as well, moving to London to build a nursing career. The intention was survival and opportunity, but for the child left behind, it registered simply as absence repeated. Raised initially by his maternal grandparents in Navan, County Meath, Brosnan experienced care without permanence. His grandparents provided stability in the practical sense, but emotional continuity is something more elusive. When they passed away, he moved again, first to relatives, then to family friends, each transition reinforcing the same unspoken lesson. Attachment is temporary, and belonging is conditional. At school, he was quiet, observant, and self-contained, not because he lacked imagination, but because attention felt risky. He learned early to watch rather than participate, to understand environments before entering them fully. Art became a refuge, not yet ambition, but necessity. Drawing and painting offered a space where control was possible, where he could create structure in a life that otherwise shifted beneath him without warning. This early instability did not harden into bitterness. Instead, it formed a kind of emotional distance, a learned calm. It is this distance that would later be misread as natural composure, when in fact, it was survival refined over time. London, Reinvention, and the first taste of being seen. At 10, Brosnan moved to London to live with his mother and her new family. It was a transition that carried emotional complexity rather than resolution. The city itself was overwhelming, larger, faster, and far less forgiving than the Irish towns he had known. More importantly, he was entering the life of someone who was technically his mother but functionally a stranger. As a teenager in London, he attended school in a system that did not accommodate invisibility. Social hierarchies were immediate and often unkind. Brosnan, foreign in accent and background, found himself on the margins once again. Yet it was here that a new possibility emerged, not through stability, but through performance. At around 17, he encountered fire eating and street performance through a traveling circus environment. It was not glamorous work. It was physical, risky, and unpredictable, but it introduced something he had never consistently experienced before: attention, not pity, not obligation, but focused presence from strangers. For someone who had spent much of childhood being moved between homes, the act of being deliberately watched created a psychological shift. This was not yet artistic ambition. It was recognition of presence. The realization that identity could be projected outward and received in real time. That discovery would become foundational, eventually guiding him toward performance as a discipline rather than a distraction. The discipline of acting and the discovery of purpose. At 18, Brosnan entered the Drama Centre London, an institution known for its intensity and rigor. There, acting was not treated as expression alone, but as excavation. Students were expected to draw from personal experience, to transform memory into material, and to confront emotional truths directly rather than avoid them. For Brosnan, this environment did not introduce difficulty, it organized it. The emotional landscape he carried into the school was already complex: abandonment, displacement, and the absence of stable attachment. What the training demanded, he already possessed internally, though not yet structured into craft. He learned technique, but more importantly, he learned articulation, the ability to translate internal experience into controlled expression. What had once been survival instincts, watching, adapting, containing emotion, became tools for performance. His early stage work after graduation was modest, built through theater productions and small roles. There was no immediate breakthrough, but there was steady development. He was not becoming famous quickly. He was becoming capable consistently. That distinction matters because it shaped the foundation of everything that followed. Acting, for Brosnan, was not escape. It was translation, a way of giving form to experiences that had previously existed without language. Remington Steel and the arrival of visibility. The turning point came with television. In 1982, Brosnan was cast as the lead in the series Remington Steel. The role required charm, wit, and a certain effortless sophistication, qualities he delivered with such natural ease that audiences assumed they were inherent rather than constructed. The show gained international attention, and suddenly Brosnan was no longer an actor building a career. He was a recognizable presence in global entertainment. With that visibility came opportunity, and with opportunity came speculation. His name began circulating in discussions around the next James Bond, yet visibility does not equal control. As his profile rose, so did the complexity of his personal life. The boundaries between identity and image began to blur. He was becoming known for a character while still privately navigating the ongoing consequences of a life shaped by early instability. This period marked a transition point from actor to public figure, but it also marked the beginning of a tension that would define much of his career. The gap between how the world saw him and how life had actually shaped him. Love, family, and the formation of belonging. Brosnan met Cassandra Harris in the late 1970s. She was already an established actress, intelligent and grounded, with a presence that matched emotional clarity with professional strength. Their connection developed gradually, moving from friendship into partnership and eventually marriage in 1980. Harris brought with her 2 children, whom Brosnan adopted. For someone who had experienced fragmented childhood relationships, this act carried deep significance. It was not symbolic, it was structural. He was choosing permanence in a life that had previously offered very little of it. This period marked the first sustained sense of home in his adult life, not a place defined by geography, but by continuity. Shared meals, daily routines, and the presence of children created a stability he had never fully experienced before. But even this period of calm was not untouched by fragility. Life, as it had repeatedly done before, introduced disruption in the form of illness. What had been built slowly and carefully would soon be tested in ways that required more than emotional resilience. They required endurance, illness, care, and the quiet collapse of stability. In 1987, Cassandra Harris was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. The diagnosis did not arrive as a sudden ending, but as a prolonged confrontation with uncertainty. Treatment, hope, relapse, and persistence became the rhythm of daily life. During this time, Brosnan stepped back from professional momentum. Career opportunities that might have accelerated his rise were secondary to the immediate reality of care. His attention shifted entirely toward family, treatment, and emotional presence. The experience reshaped his understanding of time. Success became irrelevant compared to survival. Public recognition lost weight compared to private responsibility. In interviews later, he would reflect on how quickly priorities reorganize when life becomes fragile. Harris passed away in 1991. The loss was not only emotional but structural. It removed the center around which his adult life had formed. What remained was responsibility, 3 children, an interrupted career, and grief that did not resolve neatly into narrative. This period did not define him in public terms, but it deeply altered the internal architecture from which his later work emerged, the role that arrived, and the life that interrupted it. As Brosnan was rebuilding after loss, his professional trajectory was moving toward its most significant opportunity. The producers of James Bond had identified him as a strong candidate for the role. He was, for a time, formally considered and even offered the part that would later define an era of cinema. But timing in life is rarely aligned with timing in career. As negotiations progressed, his obligations to family and the circumstances surrounding his wife's illness created complications that ultimately prevented him from accepting at that moment. The role did not disappear. It shifted. It went to another actor, and Brosnan returned to rebuilding both emotionally and professionally. The loss was not just about opportunity, it was about proximity. He had come close to a transformation that might have changed everything, only to have life intervene in its own uncompromising way. What is often misunderstood is that this interruption did not diminish his trajectory. It delayed it, reshaped it, and ultimately intensified the conditions under which he would later return to the same role under different circumstances. Return, reinvention, and becoming Bond. Years later, Brosnan would finally step into the role of James Bond, bringing with him not only technical skill but lived experience. By the time he assumed the character fully, he was no longer simply an actor embodying sophistication. He was someone whose emotional history informed restraint, calm, and controlled intensity. The version of Bond he created carried subtle differences. Beneath the elegance was weight. Beneath the confidence was memory. Audiences responded not only to style, but to presence. The sense that this was a man who understood loss without needing to display it. His portrayal became iconic, not because it was surface-level perfection, but because it contained depth that felt unspoken yet present. The character and the actor were no longer separate in perception, though they remained distinct in reality. This phase of his career transformed him into a global figure, but it did not erase the earlier chapters. Instead, it layered them. Everything he had experienced, abandonment, love, loss, and recovery, became part of how he inhabited the role. The man beyond the myth and what endures. The story of Pierce Brosnan is often told through fame, elegance, and cinematic identity, but beneath that is a life shaped by repeated departures and the slow construction of stability in their aftermath. The boy who began life without consistent belonging grew into a man whose screen presence suggested control, precisely because he had known its absence. His connection to James Bond is not simply professional, it is symbolic. It represents transformation through endurance rather than privilege. Yet what remains most significant is not the role itself, but the human continuity beneath it. Fame did not resolve his history. It did not erase grief or replace early instability. Instead, it coexisted alongside it, sometimes in tension, sometimes in harmony. What audiences saw as effortless sophistication was built from years of adaptation to change. Ultimately, his life is not a contradiction between image and reality. It is a continuum where each experience informed the next. The man inside the suit was never separate from the boy searching for stability. He was what that search eventually became. Odds managed to save himself,